like, nah, I believe in. I'm sorry. God bless you. And luckily, the King of all kings and the Lord of all lords would have his children love you even if you do not believe truth. Our Father in heaven wouldn't want us to help the devil make your life hell, because God calls the sun to shine on everyone, righteous or not. God calls the rain to fall on everyone, righteous or not. It's how we handle it is what it is. So when you're not a believer, you just move different. So believe in the truth, okay? Believe in the truth. So when they did this investigation, February of 2009, the look at you, look at you. You boy, you let go of this check. You could have hurt yourself. I'm about to have to cut this video because baby he is ready to do stuff. And he said, Mama, I'm giving you 15 minutes. And that's all he gave me. You better sit down. And you need to stop trying to stand up unless you're supervised. All right. Yep, I'm going to just read this last piece and then I'll cut the video, and we will go live as long as everything allows for me to do so. We'll go live and we'll get some questions answered. We're gonna start doing stuff. I'm glad he got his dog on a leash. Okay, so and they said that they did this follow-up investigation, and the testing was implemented. So this is the findings of the deeper investigation that they did after their already very thorough investigation a year prior. So as an old paradigm, and I love how they put it in red. They wasn't playing. An old paradigm is at the end of its operation and existence. Yes! Oh! It's current. Oh, sorry, y'all. I get so extra about it, so bear with me. Its current central method of implementation has been the private money for public use system and the for-profit corporation system. The original government in America was ingenuously converted and grudgingly accepted by other world principles through threat, coercion, and force. Unknowingly accepted by the people, that's us, of America and other world peoples, that's all the others, resulting in involuntary servitude. What? Okay, let me calm down, because this is I've been preaching this and saying this. It's validation, and I'm just like lit. Resulting in involuntary servitude, implemented and enforced by and through illegal and unconscionable, deceptive, non-transparent means and methods void of any accountability. Casualties are in the billions. Many possible alternative solutions for operating in the current private banking system were explored, and policies and protocols were created, adjusted, of all tested, all failed. The principle of the private banking system of America, most notably headed by the conservator House of Rothschild. Not the house of God, but the house of Rothschild. That's real satanic, if you feel me. Is finding that their own hidden intent, agendas, presumptions, and arrogance are being overshadowed by those of their agent. resulting in the self-destruction of the private banking system and global stability. Let's go, God. This would not be of concern to the head of the principal, nor the other world principles, except that the public collective conscience has grown at rates unexpected and unpredictable to the point that the expected replacement system cannot be implemented without full outbreach of peace and annihilation of the public by principals and their agents. The agents have been permitted to some degree to practice breach of peace and victim of the breach of peace and victim of the breach and peace and annihilation. Discord and greed within a principle has always been reality, but now the head of the principle has the opportunity to see the level of power of political and financial influence of their agents, often fueled by the junior membership or other world principles. Regardless, all principals will find that the agents in junior membership, being at first necessary, then tolerable, are now unacceptable. The most notable of the rogue agents warned as the Texas camp. All attempts to contain the principal and their other world principles. All principals are going to realize that the agents now pose a detriment and threat to the head of the principal and the other world principles, and not just pre-selection of humanity, and not just the pre-selection of humanity. The fraud cannot be controlled or eliminated in the private banking system because it is inherent in its existence. The head of the principal and other world principles have lost control over its agents due to the agent's addiction to self-interest, profit, and arrogance. Inaction by all the principles is the estoppel and destroys their ability for self-correction, threatening the viability and survivability. This is this whole page and that whole page. So I'm not going to read that, but I'm going to get to the conclusion so I can conclude. So the conclusion is global. So the private banking system in America is a threat to state, national, and international security. It is a threat to humanity who has been enslaved and unjustly contributed to the selective wealth of the principals. More interesting, the private banking system has become a threat to the security of all principals, head of the principle of the American private banking system and the other world principles. The threat created by the uncontrollable agents can be mitigated considerably by agreement between all principals and the public trustees. As this process of agreement for final settlement of involuntary servitude and unjust enrichment individuals, especially the uncontrollable agents, covertly and blatantly serving self-interest, self-report, and self-preservation, shall reveal themselves to be made examples of by their own choice. So that is major. I was hoping that I could read this 16-page document for everyone. I had got started reading it, but I was like, hold on, we need to go live. And that's when I found out that I couldn't go live. And decided to still just put up the video. But I am going to finish reading it, and I would like you all to read it because it may give us direction on what to do. So I was just kind of running through some situations and, having this document printed out, and it's saying that, the bank and all that stuff, and the Emergency Banking Act is still in effect. So I looked that up. You can Google that, even though I don't get paid to say that, and I'm not sponsoring anybody, and I don't own any rights to any music if you hear any. But let's say you're fighting a foreclosure or something. Maybe just send them the letter, maybe we can still do the petition thing. Maybe we need to allow, read this and then have people sign it and then send it to your bank or send it to this, along with the Emergency Banking Act, page 2, section 4 of the Banking Act, where it says that y'all need to be fined. This stuff is old. This is old news. But just like what happened when they switched, when they did the House Joint Resolution and made Congress the ones able to pay and made everything prepaid, that was like on the hush, so nobody knew. And that's how we're still using money today. Well, I feel like that's what's happening with this. Like, this happened long ago, but it was just kind of on the hush because it affects the people who will get the news out. The very people who usually get information to us are the very ones that will be affected by this news, so they don't want to get it out. So it's up to us. It reminds me of what happened when they freed the slaves, because whenever I can go live, y'all, my testimony is on point because it leads all the way to here. But sorry, but they've been trafficking us all this time for our labor. And just like what happened when they ended slavery, and the slaves didn't know what to do because they were so used to being enslaved. There was nothing, the transition, it wasn't like they freed the slaves and then they started letting slaves get houses and they opened up these places and they just gave them some money to be able to do this and do that. I mean, they were still like, so what do we do now? And they literally got back put in bondage, because then they were like, well, you can stay here, but it's gonna cost you. And that's kind of what's happening to us. They're like, still today, they're like, oh, well, we'll just turn everybody into slaves and make everybody have to pay, even though this is already their land and it's businesses that are making us pay. It's these EINs that are making us pay. It's these entities that are making us pay. You and I, we're just people, and so we have to learn from that history. So what happened to them is they didn't know how to begin. And I mean, I think that's where the Black Wall Streets and these black communities, so-called black, they call, that was another label. So my people, my melanated people, that's why this show is called Melanation, because we just have melanin. There's people with melanin and there's people with low melanin, high melanin, low melanin. I'm a high melanin person. Sorry, we just gonna call it that. I mean, that's how God made me. I didn't do it, he did. So I feel with the high melanated people, when we start making these communities that the low melanated people begin like always tearing it down every time we made it, I feel like it has to be something like that, where we start creating our own little communities. And even though these EINs may send their agents to come and mess us up, these little private gangs or what have you, to come and do a lot of what they did to the high melanated peoples in the early 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and still doing today. That to me is like an experiment to just kind of see how it was all going to work. We have to start creating our communities and using our skills and trades for the people, for each other, person to person. Are you really? Okay, we done. Person to person, instead of doing it under the name of a business and then asking for Federal Reserve notes. We're going to have to make something else the value. Okay. That was so fake. Come on. That was fake. I caught you. Okay, you being a good baby. Here the cracker. Ziggy want a cracker? I think he want a cracker. And we have to start working within each other and valuing each other and valuing our man-made things instead of factory-made things, and just kind of see how we can, like, what type of currency that we can start using. And we're the value. I think you got cracker in mine. We're the value. So it's like the cow. The cow is the value, but the cow can give his milk, and an egg, the chicken is the value, but the chicken can give his egg. So I'm the value, so I can give something. And whatever I can give is what I'm giving. It doesn't have to be money. We have to change our motive. We have to change what inspires us to do stuff. We have to be Holy Spirit of God led to do what we do instead of doing it in the name of money, in the name of paying a bill, in the name of giving money to another company. Yeah, no, none of that. None of that. I'm so excited. I can't wait to start hearing the testimony of us, ignoring these foreclosure things, ignoring the credit reporting agencies. We need to start reporting private companies that are still using that broken system, and we need to start finding them. And these police that be killing us, y'all need to start locking up these CEOs. And in this document it says that people are now individuals. So you're not JP and Morgan. You're not that. Whoever you are, the CEO of that company, it's you who's doing it. So you're going to be fine. And then same with these foreclosure companies. Find out the CEOs' names, the presidents of these companies. Put their name on the letter. If we need to still, do the petitions and still do that stuff, we have to come up with an enforcement process. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to create the system, because that's what I thought we had to do, but I see God has already made the way. So because the way is already made, we have to create the enforcement process. So when these businesses don't listen or try to make me pay using Federal Reserve notes, when I know it's come from the Rothschilds and it's a private company that I don't even have nothing to do with, and y'all probably tricked me into some adhesion contract to make me have signed somewhere, it's void. It's void. It is void from the inception, because it was fraud. It's force. It's coercion. It's adhesion contracts. It's all this underhanded back scheming stuff, and then you don't even know. You are compartmentalized. You are a piece of the puzzle, and you never told the bigger picture. So you don't even know how you making me do something is causing the demise, the whole picture. So now that we are informed people. When these CEOs instruct people to move like this continually, we need to hold them accountable. And then people at your jobs, honestly, we need to walk off the jobs. I know that sounds crazy, but we're only working the job so we can get the fake monopoly money, right? So that we can get the private money, right? Well, I don't need it anymore. So if I want to go get groceries, I'm going to go get them. And then when you be like, oh, you're stealing. That is what you call it in your realm. In my realm, I am providing for my family from what God has provided for me. He provided the apples and the lettuce and the cows and the ox and now he don't make cereal, and I don't want cereal, because cereal is not even real food. It's fake, phony. Like, y'all, we have to start realizing what's going on. A lot of the stuff that we're like, only the outside of the grocery store is permitted for God's children, because that's where all the stuff from the earth is. All that stuff in the middle, that's fake. It's rubbish. It kills you anyway. It has toxins. They're trying to kill us slowly. All this stuff, y'all have to realize and wake up to what is really going on, and are you upset? And who the real enemy is. So my baby is so over me being on this video, but I just wanted to lay the foundation, and I'll probably name this video the process for enforcement. Like I said, we need to study the 18 USC and Title 5, because that is where the enforcement rules are already in place, and we need to know them so that when these people that are acting in these capacities continue to trespass against us, we know exactly what to do. We're not telling. There's nobody to tell. You are the enforcement. There's nobody to tell. It's nobody. It's almost like, you know how like you have, you're a kid and then you have your mom and dad, but like if your mom and dad do you some type of way, you don't know how to call 911 yet, but like there's nobody to tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like husbands, like when my husband was making me upset, because he's not a believer currently, but when he make me upset, I'd be like, and there's nobody I can tell. Like I can't tell on him. I can't be like, and then he yelled at me. Like, you know, and it's that feeling of like there's nobody to tell. Well, I should have known I shouldn't have to tell anybody. I can stand up for myself. I can defend my own self. I don't gotta go tell his mama, his daddy, tell nobody. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna tell you. Do. Guns and notices, y'all. And really the guns and notices, there's no one in office. They've been foreclosed upon. Like, we the people, we run the town. Don't be out here being crazy. God will judge you. You know what I mean? He's gonna judge you. He may not judge you out here, but you will burn in hell. You know, God's gonna still bless you. So if you're out here murdering people, I mean, you'll probably still get blessed with things. People are still going to love you because they don't even know you're a murderer, you know, stuff like that. You know, God calls us to forgive you. We're going to forgive you because we're not going to be stuck because you are a murderer. But after you die, God is going to deal with you accordingly. So there is a reason for us to begin pointing back to the word of God, pointing back to our Constitution, the Bible, learning how God's chosen walked on this earth so we can kind of do the same and just kind of make it on earth as it is in heaven. So I love you guys. I can't wait to go live. Chime in. Let me know if you can show up. Let me know about what time. It'll probably be around this time in the day because I only got one son here. Later on in the day, I'll have 3 sons here. So to keep it light and keep me focused, I like to do it in the daytime. So let me know. Let me know if it's during the week. The day is fine. If it's on the weekend, I'll probably just go somewhere because the boys are home, and I'll just go somewhere and I'll go live for you guys. But I'm ready to discuss. I'm ready to talk. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? We just really need to empower each other to make the difference. Start little study groups. We study in the Bible, and we're studying the word. We're studying the Bible, and that's really what we need to be studying. We really just need to study the Bible. The Lord has already taken the banks and the governments down because of the detriment they were to our lives. They were trafficking us, and God saw it, and God was grieved, and he stopped it. So that stopped. So now let's worship the Lord. Let's thank God. Let's thank our Father in heaven for caring about us and making sure that this was not the end of our life, that we were not stuck in servitude, involuntary servitude, for the rest of our lives. Okay, so this is my delivery. So I thank you again. I love you guys. Tune in. Let's chit chat. Peace and love, and glory to God.